Hey, this is Learning Again with Truly Jacob a Writer. Again, you probably won't see my face because this is my writing and media pen name or whatever. So, um, trying to understand money from a kid's perspective. So, this is Money Madness by David Adler, illustrated by Edward Miller. Hope you enjoy. What's all this money madness? People talk about money and work for it. They seem to always want more of it. Take a look at the dollar bill. There's a nice portrait of George Washington on it, but it's just paper. Why do people want money? People want money because it can be used to buy things. Now imagine a world without money. If you were hungry and there was no such thing as money, how would you buy a loaf of bread? You would have to bake your own. Without money, how would you get the ingredients for the bread? If no one would give or sell you flour, you would have to grow wheat, harvest it, grind it, and sift it before you would have flour for your bread. If there was no such thing as money and you needed new clothes, you would have to make them. Imagine if you had to knit your own sweater. Imagine if you had to raise a sheep and shear it and spin wool to make the yarn and then knit the sweater yourself. There was a time before money, long ago. People couldn't buy things when they were hungry. They gathered berries and killed animals. When they were cold, they gathered wood for their fires. Before there was money, people gathered and hunted for what they needed. They were self-sufficient. Some people like to hunt. They were good at it. Others were good at making clubs or clothing. Soon people traded one thing for another. A hunter traded with a food gatherer. A club maker traded with a clothing maker. A system of trading one thing for another is called bartering. Maybe you barter. Have you ever traded one toy for another? At lunch? Have you ever traded an apple for an orange? That's bartering. However, there are times when bartering doesn't work. A hunter could trade an animal for berries, but how many berries? And what if the hunter didn't want berries? How would a baker trade for a house? How many loaves of bread would he have to trade? And why would anybody want so much bread? Long before a person could eat all that bread, most of it would be stale. A hunter who didn't want berries might be willing to trade for them anyway if he knew he could then trade the berries for something he did want. A homeowner might be willing to trade her house for bread if she knew she could then trade the bread for something she did want. In those trades, the berries and bread would be kind of money. At one time, cows, sheep, camels, rocks, feathers, salt, dried fish, fish hooks, animal skins, and strings of beads made from clamshells were all used as money. People valued cows, sheep, and camels, and they could always trade one of those animals for something they wanted. But what if something was worth just half a cow? You wouldn't want to cut a cow in half to buy something. What if the sheep or camel you wanted to trade was sickly? You might have trouble trading it. When animals were used as money, your money needed to be fed. Your money could die. It could run away. Rocks were another early form of money. Rocks come in different sizes, but they're heavy to carry around. Feathers were used as money too. Feathers are light, but they can blow away. What was needed was something that wouldn't get sick. Didn't have to be fed, wasn't too heavy or light, came in different weights or sizes, and most people wanted. Hundreds of years ago, people found that metals made good money. People valued bronze and copper, which could be cut into small pieces just right for carrying around. To know how much each piece was worth, people just had to weigh it. The heavier the piece of metal, the more it was worth. These pieces became the first coins. The coins were made from silver and gold. People wanted silver and gold, so they were happy to trade for silver and gold coins. But carrying many coins is difficult, so paper money was invented. The first paper money was like a printed promise, a promise that the money could be taken to the bank and traded for silver and gold coins. In the United States, people no longer use silver and gold coins as money, but paper money still has value because you can use it to buy things. You can use paper money to buy bread, furniture, and clothing. You can use it to buy a house. You can even use paper money to buy silver and gold. Each country has its own money. In the United States, people use dollars. In Mexico, people use pesos. In Israel, new shekels. In Russia, rupees. In China, yuan. In Canada, dollars. In South Africa, rand. And in Brazil, reais. Or rei, I don't know. People in many of the countries in Europe use euros. Or euros. The value of money in each country keeps changing. One US dollar may be worth 10 Mexican pesos one day and a little more or less the next day. Your dollar may be worth 7 Chinese yuan one day and slightly more or less the next day. The value of each country's money goes up when prices go down in the country. When that happens, the dollar buys more. The value of each country money goes down when the prices go up in that country. When prices go up, the same dollar buys less. I don't know. This doesn't make much sense to me. They may be doing this wrong. Because when I went to Nicaragua, I think the United States currency was worth more, but they were on a different money standard, so it seemed like everything cost more. So that's not necessarily true. I don't know. You have to understand what equals what in a different country. So, I don't know. But this could be more talking about, I don't know. Typically, the price of money in the United States is going down and prices are going up. Okay, so I just maybe not 6 tomatoes for $1. Okay, 3 for $1. Okay, yeah, it's more. Okay, had to do the math. Sorry. So when prices go down, the value of the dollar goes up. For example, when a scoop of ice cream costs $1, each dollar buys one scoop. If prices go down and a scoop of ice cream now costs just 50 cents, a dollar buys double what is bought before. Now, a dollar buys 2 scoops of ice cream. The value of the dollar in relation to the ice cream went up as prices in a country go down. Not just for ice cream, but for many, even most things, the value of its currency goes up. Ice cream, 1 scoop for $1. Money is going down, prices are going up. Ice cream, 2 scoops for $1. Money going up, so prices go down. Okay. Yes. Checks and credit cards are money too because they can be used to buy things. Okay. Some people even use digital money. With digital money, there is a computer record of money in an account. When you spend the money to buy a book or download music, the amount you spend is subtracted from your account. Even though you cannot see digital money, it's still money because it can be used to buy things. We no longer live in a world with just hunters and food gatherers. We live in a world with dancers, teachers, doctors, astronauts, dentists, and bakers. Without money, it's hard to imagine what a dancer would trade to buy a car. Without money, it's hard to imagine what a teacher would trade to buy a sweater. It's hard to imagine a world without money. Now, reach into your pockets. Do you have any coins? Do you have any paper money? If you do, you're probably pleased. You know, with money, you can buy things you want. With money, you can buy things you need. Now, I get the whole money concept, but again, going back to the whole thing of, I believe people should get paid what they're worth. So you can be a contributing person in society as a whole. So if you have a certain level of energy and you can only do a certain kind of work, then you should be paid accordingly. And it doesn't mean you need the most fancy, house or whatever, but you need like a big enough space for yourself and things in your free time of how you're learning and growing and stuff like that. So, to me, that's how I would like society to change. And how do you do that? Because the United States of America, it seems the whole world, people don't want to pay people what they're worth. It's about making the most amount of money and getting the fancy car and getting the fancy house and the fancy clothes all the time. And it's like, if you're contributing to society, why can't there be an assessment of, okay, like here's your reward system, or here's bonuses of you're doing your best with what you can and your energy level and blah blah blah. If you learn this, hey, then you get these items as a reward. If you learn how to be more self-efficient in some area, or you learn how to make clothes yourselves the old-fashioned way, because technically, really, we need machines to help us do everything to mass produce. Otherwise, like, nothing would get done at all. So, but if you live in a society where it's like, literally, you have to do everything yourself, and you have to look over everyone's back to make sure your getting your rightly service when you pay for it, realistically, it's like, oh, not only did your dollar go down the drain, but all the services that you need went down the drain. So you not only lost the value of the dollar, you lost the service of all your clothes, because they used to make clothes that would last a really long time. No one makes clothes like that anymore. No one makes products anymore that last a really long time. It's like they're designing them to fall apart, and every so many years you have to buy a new cell phone or a new computer or a new car because no one cares about making things last. Well, no one's made of money, and that's how you get by, is you need to be able to save your money to buy the next good quality item. Well, if everything breaks down and falls apart and doesn't last, then you're gonna run out of money and everyone's gonna be poor. So that doesn't seem fair, because I believe everyone should get their money's worth in good quality products. So where are the good quality products? So to end this, it was like George Washington's portrait is on the quarter, and the $1 bill, he was the first U.S. president. Thomas Jefferson's portrait is on the nickel, and the $2 bill, he was the third U.S. president and wrote the Declaration of Independence. And when they tried to put the $2 bill into effect, it seemed like not many people still ended up using it. They just stuck with the $1 bill. Abraham Lincoln's portrait is on the penny and the $5 bill. He was the 16th U.S. president and served during the Civil War. Alexander Hamilton's portrait is on the $10 bill. He was the first U.S. Secretary of the Treasury and the only person born outside the country to be featured on the U.S. currency. Andrew Jackson's portrait is on the $20 bill. He was a military hero during the War of 1812 and later elected the 7th U.S. president. Ulysses S. Grant's portrait is on the $50 bill. He was a general of the Union Army during the Civil War and later elected the 18th U.S. president. So, and the $50 bill, most people use ones, 5s, 10s, and 20s. So it is rare to see a $50 bill. But depending on if people pay with cash, you'll still see that from time to time. Benjamin Franklin's portrait is on the $100 bill. He was a writer, scientist, inventor, statesman, and one of our greatest Americans. And this is one of the rare ones too, because most people do not pay with $100 bills for services, because we become more electronic society where people use credit cards or debit cards to pay for their stuff. But I was raised as a kid or a teenager to be like, cash is king, because it's like if you save cash, then you can like sometimes it's easier saving cash because it's tangible money, where it's like, oh, I need to save my money. And interest is low in the banks. So you don't get much money for keeping your money in the banks. So it doesn't really matter if it's in the bank or in at some kind of safety deposit box where no one knows where it is. So again, wish there was a different system in play where everyone gets a legitimate wage based on the work that they do and according to their energy level, and it's a fair wage, and there is somehow some kinds of rewards system put in place. Hope you enjoyed this video. I did think this was a better book to teach the basics of money to kids. The other one was a little bit more intense, went over more the history of money, but this is a good one to give you like the basics. So I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions or comments concerning how you would like this money system to change for the better, feel free to put that in the comment section. I'm not sure how to change society as a whole, but if you know how to change a society as a whole and make it so everyone gets paid a legitimate salary and gets paid what they're worth, so we can have some hobbies to do on the side where we have fun and still do work and all come together as a community, feel free to comment and put that in the comment section. Anything else? If you liked this video, feel free to like and subscribe to this channel if you want. Until next time.